If you've ever been to New York City, you've seen it. The billboards, the posters, the glowing theater fronts. Maybe you were there in the 90s, hearing the music of the night in the Phantom of the Opera. Or maybe more recently, watching Elder Price introduce himself in the Book of Mormon.
Either way, Broadway isn't just theater anymore. It's culture. But here's the real question.
How did Broadway get this big? How did it become so recognizable, so memorable, so ingrained in our culture?
On this episode of the Agora, we're breaking down how Broadway shows market themselves into cultural icons.
Do you recognize this image? Or this one? How about this?
Unless you've been living under a rock, chances are you recognize at least one of these. But here's the thing, none of them included the show's name, and yet you still knew exactly what they were.
This is a marketing strategy called iconic imagery. It's when a brand reduces itself to a single visual, something so simple and distinctive that it becomes a shortcut in your brain. Some shows rely on color, some rely on simple shapes or logos, and others build their identity around a single image.
Each of these shows reduces itself down to one defining visual, something simple, something repeatable, and something instantly recognizable. Because the goal isn't just to advertise the show itself, it's to make sure that the second you see that image, you think of the music, the dancing, the theatrics, everything that makes that show particularly unique to itself.
And this isn't just Broadway. Think about Apple, think about Nike, think about Jurassic Park.
No text, no explanation, just a symbol and you already understand it. The most successful shows don't just sell tickets, they create icons.
Because once an image is powerful enough to live in your head, it doesn't stay on a poster. It escapes into the real world, bigger, brighter, and impossible to ignore.
In this way, some of Broadway's most powerful marketing isn't on the stage, it's outside the theater.
Back in the early 1900s, Broadway earned the nickname the Great White Way, referring to how theaters used bright electric white lights in their signs to stand out in the dark. Because even back then, Broadway understood something simple about marketing psychology. If you want attention, you have to look like it. And today, that idea has been pushed to the extreme. Entire buildings are turned into advertisements. Massive, bright, impossible to ignore. They don't just tell you a show exists, they announce it.
Take Moulin Rouge, for example.
Walking past the Al Hirschfeld Theater doesn't feel like you're approaching a show. It feels like you're stepping into a different world entirely. The entire facade is drenched in deep reds and golds, with warm, almost seductive lighting spilling out onto the street. It's not subtle, it's not trying to be, and that's the point. Before you even see a single scene, before you hear a single note, you already understand the vibe. Extravagant, romantic, a little dangerous. The building itself becomes the first act. It sells you the fantasy before you've even bought a ticket. You don't just pass by it, you feel pulled into it.
These displays aren't just decoration, they're marketing in its most spectacular visual form.
Massive physical extensions of the show's identity, using the same iconic colors, symbols, and imagery we talked about earlier, but now blown up to the scale of an entire city block. Because they're competing for attention in the hardest place possible, Times Square. In all of its overstimulating advertisement glory, these exteriors are designed to do one thing: take you out of the mundane everyday world and pull you into something bigger.
Because Broadway is selling an escape from reality. And really, who doesn't want that?
Broadway doesn't just market itself. The real magic happens behind the scenes, where marketing agencies are the ones putting shows in the spotlight. And these aren't your typical agencies. Broadway marketing isn't about selling a product. It's about selling a live, one-time experience. Something you can't own, can't replay, and can't fix once it opens. That makes reviews and word of mouth incredibly powerful. There's also no time to ease into it. Opening night is a hard deadline. Marketing has to build hype before anyone's even seen the show, then pivot instantly once reviews come out. It's a constant shift from selling the dream to fighting for survival.
And the stakes are huge. Shows cost millions to produce, and every empty seat is lost revenue. They have no inventory, no second chances, so marketing has to work fast. That's why Broadway marketing agencies do more than just ads. Unlike traditional marketing agencies, they handle everything.
Posters, trailers, brand design, social media, press, even ticket strategy, and they work directly with producers to shape how a show is positioned from the start. At that point, they're not just marketers, they're part of the production. Now, let's take a quick look at two of the most established Broadway marketing agencies and take a deep dive into how they operate. First up, Spotco, the agency behind iconic Broadway visuals like the stenciled logo of Rent and the bold star of Hamilton. Their approach is simple: do everything and connect it all. And they don't silo work. They handle research, strategy, branding, media, and ticketing as one system, engineering the entire journey from awareness to ticket purchase. They call themselves storytellers and research nerds, blending data with creativity to build brands that actually sell. For example, Hamilton. The challenge? Create a brand with mass appeal for a genre-defining show. The solution? Strip it down to something simple, bold, and iconic. No cliches, no over-explaining, just a symbol that says everything.
That's Spotco. Data, creativity, and a full system approach. But Spotco isn't the only company in this field. Popular Marketing Agency, aka NYC, uses a different approach to market their shows by putting emotions first.
Their whole philosophy is built on one idea, that emotion drives action. Instead of making ads, they make content that feels like entertainment itself, stuff people actually want to watch and share. And, like Spotco, they pair that with real-time data and constant optimization. If you mapped it out, it's basically create emotion, deliver it as content, track behavior, adjust, then sell tickets. Take one of their most popular shows, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Here, they lean into the brand, hard. This wasn't a new story. I mean, it's Harry Potter, so the marketing focused on legitimacy. This is the official continuation of Harry's story, not just a spin-off. Now compare that to Maybe Happy Ending. No brand, no built-in audience, so they flipped the strategy. They sold the emotion first. Quiet, human, relatable, made the concept approachable, even though it's about robots. And instead of targeting everyone, they went after specific people looking for something different.
Two completely different shows, two completely different strategies, but the same goal, fill seats. So what can we actually learn from all of this? From a $2 billion industry that's embedded itself into American culture? Nothing is accidental.
The Hamilton Star, the giant nest on top of the Cursed Child Theater.
Every detail is designed and every choice is intentional, because at the end of the day, Broadway isn't just telling stories. It's controlling whose stories are here to stay and how those stories are remembered. I'm Victoria Yu, reporting for the Agora.